Mixing genres can be a lot of fun and incredibly creatively liberating. But it can also lead to confusing stories, conflicting expectations, and a lot of frustrations for both you and your readers. In this video, I will walk you through the challenges of writing a genre mashup so you know exactly what you might be facing if you choose to embark on this journey. In the previous video, we explored all the fun and exciting benefits of writing a genre mashup. And now it's time to tackle the not so fun side of genre mashups. Let's start with genre mashup drawback number 1. It can confuse readers and create conflicting expectations. Readers often have clear genre expectations. Reading a genre mashup can sometimes be quite confusing for the reader. Usually, people enjoy reading in clearly defined genres. There's a certain structure, an atmosphere, or certain elements that they truly love about that genre. And when something completely unexpected suddenly appears in the story, it can throw them off. Usually, when someone picks up a Regency romance novel, they expect a charming, romantic atmosphere that leads to a happily ever after ending. But when zombies suddenly show up, you might start wondering if you accidentally picked up the wrong book. But it's no accident. It's actually a real book called Pride and Prejudice and Zombies. I only watched the movie and I thought it was fun, but there will definitely be people who will put down the book or switch movies the moment a zombie suddenly appears in a story where it clearly doesn't belong. And according to traditional genre expectations, zombies are not exactly something that one would expect to find in a Regency romance story. So if you're writing or planning to write a genre mashup, this is something that you need to be very well aware of. Not every reader will enjoy that kind of unexpected genre combination. Too many unexpected elements can frustrate readers. Sometimes you pick up a book and few pages in, you start wondering, is it a romance book? Or a post-apocalyptic story? A sci-fi novel? Or is it a horror story? Each genre comes with its own expectations, tropes, and certain elements that readers expect to see when they pick up a book in a genre that they love. Not knowing what to expect can feel confusing and mentally exhausting for a reader who just wants to read a book and relax for half an hour before going to sleep. And when there are too many unexpected elements just thrown together, the story can start to feel unfocused and difficult to follow. Your reader might get frustrated, throw the book all the way to the other side of the room, and then immediately jump online to give your book a 1-star review. So you definitely want to avoid that. Here's how you can avoid it. Study other genre mashups before writing yours. The best way to avoid causing a lot of problems to your readers and to yourself is by reading a lot of genre mashups, especially the ones that have the best reviews. See what they did well. How did they manage to blend well the different elements from different genres? How did they market the book? What cover, title, and blurb did they use to attract their ideal reader? But don't stop at the genre mashups with the best reviews. When you're done, start looking at the ones with the worst reviews. Study them very carefully so you know what to avoid. What did readers complain about in their reviews? What made them stop reading? What elements did they feel that didn't work well together? By doing this kind of analysis, you start to understand what readers love and hate in a genre mashup. And the more you understand what works well together, the easier it will become to write the best genre mashup you possibly can. Different readers will react differently. Just because some readers complained about certain elements in a genre mashup doesn't mean there aren't other readers who absolutely love them. That's why it's important to look at a variety of opinions when you write your own genre mashup so you can be better informed before writing your book. No matter what kind of story you write, whether it's a genre mashup or a story that fits perfectly well in the traditional genre expectations, there will always be some readers who love it and some who don't. What matters most is preparing in advance. That way, you minimize the chances of frustrating the wrong reader, and you'll be able to better connect with the right readers. Genre mashup drawback number 2. It makes it harder to market and position. Genre mashups can be difficult to categorize and sell. When you're not writing in one clearly defined genre, it can be much more difficult to market and position your book. Whether your book ends up in a physical bookstore shelf or in an online store, you still have to assign it a category so readers know where to find it. If you're combining a clean, sweet romance with a post-apocalyptic nuclear disaster story, you still need to place it in the right category or on the right shelf so that readers can discover it. But where exactly does it go? Now, if you're simply writing for fun and not trying to make a living with your writing, this might not feel like such a big issue. You're just having fun creating the stories you love. And that's awesome. And it also gives you a lot more creative freedom to experiment. But if you're hoping to earn a living from your writing, then positioning your book correctly and marketing it in a way that appeals to the right reader becomes extremely important. If they can't find it, they won't read it. Covers, keywords, and genre expectations become more complicated. It's not just the category that you have to choose correctly. You also need to think about the keywords, the cover, and the blurb. All of these play a huge role in helping your ideal reader find your book. With genre mashups, you need to make it especially clear what kind of story the reader is getting into. And it's a bit more difficult than with a story that would fit nicely into one genre. One way to make it easier is to choose one main genre and then add in elements from other genres. That could help create fewer challenges both with the marketing and with the writing itself. Before we move on to the final drawback, if you're enjoying this video, then please give it a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel for more tips on being a productive, happy writer. Genre mashup drawback number 3. Balancing multiple genres can be challenging to write. Blending different genre elements can be overwhelming. So far, we've talked about the drawbacks of writing a genre mashup from a reader's perspective. We've seen how challenging it can sometimes be to find, follow, or even understand a genre mashup. But genre mashups can also create challenges for the writer. Readers only see the final polished version of your manuscript. But you, on the other hand, you're the one who has to go through all the messy drafts before it reaches that final publishable version. You have to combine elements from different genres and somehow make them all work together in a way that makes sense. And that's not an easy job for you. But it doesn't mean you shouldn't do it. It just means that you need to plan things a little bit more carefully so the story doesn't become confusing for you while you're writing it. And it's not just the genre elements themselves that you're trying to mix together. Keep in mind that every genre comes with its own tone, pacing, atmosphere, and even its own style of ending. In a genre mashup, you need to blend all those elements together in a way that feels natural and works well with the genres you're trying to combine. The important thing here is not simply to just throw together elements from different genres into one story, but to carefully blend them together in a way that they complement one another. You want them to work well together in one cohesive story. You don't want them to feel like separate genres fighting for the reader's attention as they read the book. And there is a solution to this problem. Genre mashups often require more planning and more drafts. All of this can feel quite overwhelming, especially if you're a beginner writer. That's why carefully planning your genre mashup from the very beginning can help reduce a lot of the confusion before you even start writing. And remember, you can always make things more clear in the next draft. In fact, you might have to go through several rounds of revisions, maybe even more than if you were just writing one single genre, just to make sure that all the elements blend well together before you publish your book. But all of this is completely normal. Sometimes a genre mashup just simply needs a little bit more polishing before your manuscript is ready to go out into the world. But despite all these problems, you shouldn't give up on your story. The genre mashup drawbacks shouldn't stop you from writing one. I share these genre mashup drawbacks with you today not to discourage you, but to help you become more aware of the challenges that you will encounter on your path to writing and publishing a genre mashup. The more aware you are of these challenges, the better you can prepare for them. And when the time comes to write, publish, and market your genre mashup, you'll have a much clearer idea of how to make the genre mashup connect with the right readers. And while writing a genre mashup can definitely be challenging, it can also be a lot of fun and creatively liberating. So if you want to discover more about the exciting side of writing a genre mashup, check out this other video where I talk about the benefits of writing one and why genre mashups can be such a fun experience for both the reader and the writer. Keep writing and have fun writing!